When you open Google Docs for the first time, this is the screen you're going to see. And here on top, we have the untitled document where you have to title this document and give it a name. And here you're going to see the Docs home. When you click on that, it's going to take you to the home page for Google Docs. Then here you have the menu bar where you're going to see all the menus that you're going to be using in Google Docs to write or do things in Google Docs. Down here, you have a toolbar. On the toolbar, this is where you're going to see and find all the tools that are mostly used by Google Docs users. And so here you can find things like search, you can undo, you can redo things, you can print something out, you can also check for grammar errors or spelling errors, and also do things like painting format. You can also zoom in on a page and zoom out. Here you have the fit, you have 50%, and what you do here is when you click on any of these things, you're going to see what it does. You can zoom in 75%. You can also make the document fit the screen, and so it's going to look like this. You're going to find a lot of options and tools here on the toolbar. Then on top here, we also have the option to see the last edit, when last edit was made, the option to show all comments that are made by people you are working with on this document. You also have the ability to join a call here in Google Meet. When you click here, it's going to open this small dialog box where you are going to see here it's saying select a meeting to join here. You can also start a meeting if that's what you are interested in. If you want to start a meeting yourself, start a new meeting, or you can use a meeting code to join an existing meeting. That's not what we want to do. Here, you're going to see that you also have the way to share this document with others. So when you click on this drop-down menu here, you can copy the link to this Google Doc. And then that link can be shared with anyone who is going to have access to this document. And when you click on this share button, it opens a dialog box where you're going to see different things. You can make this document restricted. You can also going to see your email or your name here. And also here, you can add the names or people you want to share this document with. Or you can copy the link and so you can share it. It's just the same with the drop down copy option that we saw earlier. So here, this is what you see. Just below the toolbar, we have the ruler. You can add the left tab, you can add the center tab, you can add the right tab, and you can also show the rulers and you can hide them if that's what you want. To show the rulers back, you just have to click on view, and here you're going to see rulers and the rulers are back. To hide them, right click on it and you're going to see show rulers, and when you click there, it's hidden. And so we need the rulers to show. Let's bring them back. Then you also have the show document outlines. If you have any headlines in your document, they are going to show here as outlines. This is the ruler also. This side you have the scroll bar. You can scroll down the document, you can also scroll up, and you're going to see even more options this side. But these options that we have here are not Google Docs related. We have the calendar here, we also have the keep and tasks, we also have contacts, then we also have maps. When you click here, you can get add-ins to add to Google Docs. We're going to talk about this later in the course. The quick toolbar contains the tools that are mostly used by people who use Google Docs. But to see even more options, you can use the menu bar on top here, where you can see even more options, things that you can find on the toolbar. This shows you how powerful this software is by Google. Also, another thing I want to show you is how to change your page setup options. You find the page setup under the file. When you come here, you scroll down, use the scroll bar. If you are not able to see everything at once, you are going to see page setup. When you click there, it's going to open a dialog box like this. This gives you the ability to change the page setup. On top here, we have two tabs. You have the pages, we then also have pageless. If you want your document to be a pageless document, this is where you click and it's going to look like that. Then if you want to have pages, the way we have it, it should be like that. And now here we have uh, whatever changes we make. If you want them to be applied to the whole document, this is what should be selected. If you have just one document, this is by default selected. If you have many, you can select the page you want to apply the changes to. But in this case, it's the whole document. Then down here, we have the orientation. How do you want your document to look like? If you want it to be portrait, you do that. Then this side, we have the margins. We have the top, bottom, left, and right. And these are the margins that we have here, but I'm just going to reduce this and just say one. Let's say we just want to have one all the sides want to have 1 centimeters. We are using centimeters, so it's going to use 1 centimeter, 1 centimeters on all sides. You can choose how big you want your document to be. If you want your document size to be a letter, you just click there and choose letter. If you want it to be A4, in this case, that's what I want, so I'll just click there. And so A4 is 21 centimeters in width and 29.7 centimeters in height. So that's that. Then down here you have the page color. When you click here, you can choose the color for your page. But in this case, I want it to be white, the default color. And so I click on OK here, you can see that the margins now have been reduced to one on all sides. Previously, it was here. Now everything has been set to how we want the document to look like. Text formatting is all about how you can make your document look and feel. When people look at it, they should be able to feel something. For instance, in this document, we have this script for the video that I was preparing the other day. Here, the text is not formatted the way we want it. It's just the way it is like that. But we can apply some formats to it so it looks good, so it feels better. Text formatting is simply how you can add some styles to the text or just make your text look better. For instance, you can change the color of text, but to do that, you highlight it, then you can come here on the text color and you can choose the color of your choice. You can also make your text bold. This is text formatting. You can also make your text italicized or underlined, or maybe the size can be bigger, so it's the heading. You can also center it. This is text formatting in Google Docs. You can center the text. You can also put the text to the right side. You can also bring it back to the left if that's something you are interested in. You can also add spaces to your paragraphs. For instance, this paragraph here, it looks fine. The spaces are just okay. But in some instances, you'd want to add some spaces between the lines. So to do that, you highlight the paragraph, then you can come here, and here you're going to see the line and paragraph spacing. When you click there, you have so many different options. You have single, and this is going to bring the text too close to each other. And when you click on the next one, this puts the normal spacing, and you can just keep on doing the same thing and you see what all these do. And these paragraph spacing are very helpful in some instances where you just want maybe to make your text readable and to breathe. This is what you'll be doing. The reason why you do this is so you emphasize on certain words or lines or sentences or paragraphs. That's very important in a Word document because it's going to give structure to your document so people are able to understand and also are guided how they are going to read your document. But also you have the ability to add space before the paragraph. So for instance, we have this image of Google Doc here, and you see there's no space between this paragraph and the image. So to add the space, you can just highlight the paragraph and come to line and paragraph spacing. Then you're going to see the add space after paragraph. When you click there, it's going to add the space after the paragraph. As you can see here, you're able to see that now there's that difference. You can undo and you can also redo to see the difference here. Sure, you're able to see that. This is very helpful in so many different instances because now it gives you the flexibility and the ability to just create beautiful, good looking documents which do not collide with other texts or things. It just looks proper. You can apply different formats to text in Google Docs. You can highlight the paragraph or text that you want, then you can choose the style that you'd want to apply to it. Also here you can apply different fonts if that's something you are interested in. This is called text formatting. So you have also the ability to insert listings in your document. So for instance, if you want to create a bulleted list or a numbered list, you have these two options. Actually, three options here. You have the check list if that's something you are interested in. What this does is when you click there, you're able to do different things here. You can insert different checklists. You can also insert bulleted list. When you click there, it's going to insert a bulleted list just like that. This is also called text formatting. Also, you have the numbered list if that's something you want. You can also change an existing list to something else. So for instance, this checklist, you can turn it to a bulleted list. This numbered list, you can turn it to a checklist if that's something you are interested in. All these different properties on top here are just there to help you format your text differently so your document can look better. This is how you can beautify your document so they look presentable, so they look good. How to insert shapes and text boxes in your Google Doc document. So to insert shapes and text boxes, you come to insert. When you click on the insert, you're going to see a command called drawing, and this one is going to show you a contextual menu here where you can create a new, or where you can draw new things, or you can insert things from your Google Drive. In this case, we want to draw new things, and this is going to open a dialog box where you can insert so many different types of things or shapes or text boxes. Not only can you insert text boxes or shapes, because here on the tool panel we have the ability to insert the shapes and the text boxes that are here, but you can also insert images in this. You can also insert different types of lines. Here you can see the lines that you can insert. You can also insert different types of shapes. When you click on the shape here, you're going to see types of shapes you can insert. When you bring the mouse on top of these options here, you're going to see a window that's going to show you all sorts of different types of shapes that you can insert. And that's the same for these other ones too. So what you can do here is, if you want to insert any of these things, you can just click on the shape that you want. Then it's going to show you this pencil tool where you can now draw the shape. It can be as big as you want. It's up to you. Here you can just click and hold and drag around to actually size it up the way you want it to look like. When you draw this shape, you can also apply different characters or features to it. You can change the outline color, you can also change the fill color, and these are the features that are some of the properties for this shape. So for instance, by default, it's going to have this blue color, but if I want to change the color, I'll just come to fill and I can click on this color. For instance, if I want the red instead, if I want to change it again, I can just come here and change it to another color, just like that. If I want to change the outline color, I would come on the next option here where it says border color. When I click there, I'll see that I'll have also different color options for me to apply to my border. When I click there, this is going to change my outline color or my border color. That's how you can change the color for the shape that you insert in your drawing window. Here you can move this shape around using the select tool. Here we have the select tool, and this one is used for selecting things like that. But in some instances, for instance, when you are drawing a curve line, when you draw a curve line here, it's in the curve line mode. When you finish this, you still can keep on drawing this. You cannot move this shape around. If you want to move this shape around, you have to select the select tool, and this is going to allow you to move this around and put it where you want it to be. So maybe you create something that looks the way you want it to, something interesting. And then when it comes to changing the colors and the outlines, it's the same. You just click on it, then you can come here on the fill color and you can change the colors to whatever colors you want. Text boxes are a bit different. You have to draw it just the way you draw the shapes. Then you can insert the text in here. You can format it the way you can format text on the normal document. But here on top, you can't see the properties for formatting your text. What do you do instead? Some of the features are showing like border outline and also the border dash, if that's something you're interested in for this text box. The reason why we're seeing these two options on top here is because we are working with these text boxes. Immediately you select something else, these three disappear. When I click on it, they reappear, and you can see here the options for that. You have the fill color, the border word, and the border dash. These are properties for this text box. So when I click here, I can change the fill. I can also change the outline if there's something I'm interested in. I can change the border word if I want to make it big. I can do that. I can also change if I want it to be dashed if there's something I'm interested in. But this is not what I want myself. So I'm going to delete this and insert a new one. I'll insert this text box and I'll just put the text in here so I can show you some features that comes with this. When you add the text in the text box, you can also format this, just like any text that you enter in your normal document. In this text box, you can center the text, you can also do other things. So for you to see the features that allow you to do that, you select the text in here, and you can actually highlight the text and you can click on the more option here. When you click there, you're going to see all the properties that comes with this, okay, that you can put to your text. You can change the font style to something you like. You can also increase or decrease the size. If that's something you are interested in, you can make your text bold, you can italicize it, you can also underline it, you can also change the color. Maybe you want it to be green, you can do all these things in here. You can also highlight the color. If that's something you want, you can say the box should be highlighted with maybe a red, and so you have that. You can change the alignment of this text in the text box by just highlighting it and coming here on the align, and you see you have the center, you have the left, center, right, and the justify option. When you click on the center, the text is now centered. If you want to put it to the right, you have all that command there. Let's bring it back to how it was here. If you want to insert a list in your text box, remember this text box can also be expanded when you are actually editing it. You can also insert a list, a bulleted list or a numbered list. You have all these different options on top here. So we can say, okay, we'll have these lines. Yeah, let's just change the color to, let's remove all these and say transparent, and the color is going to be black. The color for this is going to be black, so we can see this properly. Now when I highlight these three lines here, I can change this to a bullet list or to a numbered list, depending on how I want my text box to look like. It's up to you here to do whatever you want. You can also indent text in here. Just like in a text processor, you highlight the text that you want to indent, and you can decrease and increase the indent. When you click there, the text is going to be indented just like that. These are some of the features that you should be aware of in Google Docs. They are there, and I know a lot of people do actually find it very difficult to work with inserting text boxes. I used to think that Google Docs doesn't have the properties to insert text boxes and shapes, but with time I learned that, so I wanted to share this with you, and I hope this was helpful. When you're done drawing and preparing your shapes or text boxes that you want to use in your document, to insert them, you simply just click on the save and close. When you do that, everything is going to come and it's going to be put here on your document. And the good thing about this is you can actually move it and position it to a different position in your document. It's not restricted to one position. You can move it around and position it on different positions or places on your document. That's the good thing about using shapes, text boxes, and also other things in your Google document. This is simply how you can insert shapes and text boxes in Google Docs. It's something that's there, but sometimes it can be challenging to find these tools. Sometimes you're going to be dealing with paragraphs that look like this in your documents. To make them stand out, you're going to have to learn how to use the tabs and the indents in Google Docs. Do we have these features in Google Docs? Absolutely, we do have them. So for instance, if I want to indent this line here, the normal way is you can just use the tab on the keyboard, you just press on it once, then it's going to indent this paragraph just like that. And this makes your paragraph stand out. Also, that's what you can do for this one. Also, you can just come here and do that. That works. But also, there are other ways to go about this. We have these blue markers on top. These blue markers are indent options. They are also there in Microsoft Word, but they don't look like this. So this is how they look like in Google Docs. So for you to be able to indent the paragraph that you want to indent, you just have to bring the cursor before that paragraph like that. Then you can just click on this and move it in like that. Then the entire paragraph is going to be moved. If you want to indent the entire paragraph, you move everything like that. In the case that you just want to move the first line, you click on the top part, and so it's called the first line indent. When you click and drag and push this in, it's only going to push the first line. Now, to move everything at once, you have maybe you want to indent all these three paragraphs at once. You can highlight them, and now you can just click on the left indent here, and everything's going to be moved like that. And so you have that. But sometimes you want to move only the first line for these three paragraphs, and that's doable also. You can just click on this top part and push it in, and so you have all the three first lines for these paragraphs are moved in, indented in, just like that. Then you have all the control to move all these paragraphs actually however you want them to look like. You can move the first lines only like that, or you can move everything together at once by just clicking the bottom part of this, or you can just move one these one by one like that. Now, sometimes you're going to be dealing with the very complex structures of data that you are working on in your document. For instance, when we insert this here, it's bold, and let's make it a bit big so we can see it properly. We also want to have something somewhere here in the same line. Now, sometimes people can use the space, but this is not professional. You don't want to use the spaces to move your cursor in the same line so you can insert the second position. Or sometimes people will just use this tab key, press on it, then it's going to move this. This works very well, but you don't have too much control of this either. So you can just click anywhere here on the ruler, then you're going to see the options. For instance, to add a tab stop. So you can add a left tab stop or a center tab stop and the right tab stop if that's something you are interested in. When you click on the add left tab stop here, it's going to add a small marker there. Now, this is actually telling the software that every time someone presses the enter, when this is active, instead of it jumping 1 inch forward, it should jump to the position where we have this. So now when we press the tab key on the keyboard, it's going to jump to that position. And now at this position, we want to enter our expenditure. This line is done. We can press enter to start a new line. Then here we can put our incomes. Let's just make sure that the text is not going to be bold this time around. Here we're going to say gifts, for instance, gifts, yeah. Then we also want to put another tab stop here where we can put the price. So for me to do that, I'll just click here and I'll add the tab stop, the left tab stop. Then I can jump from where the cursor is to this position by just pressing the tab key. And here now I can put the price, the income for this. Now I can also jump from where the cursor is to this position because it's already there. I can just press the tab key, it's going to do the magic and jump to that position. And so here now I can put our expenditure, maybe I can say subscriptions, and these subscriptions, we're going to put the money for these subscriptions somewhere here. And so I can just click there to add the left tab. And then when I jump to that position using the tab key, it's going to bring the cursor there and I can put my price here. Now when I add this publicity here, I can just press tab. It's going to go to this position because it knows I already have this tab stop here, and I can add the price for this publicity just like that. And I can also press the tab key. It's going to do this magic. I don't have to do this again because now it knows what needs to be done. Just keep on doing this magically, and we have this structure which is under our control, which is under your control. When you do this, now you can highlight this and remove the spacings, remove the space after the paragraph so these come together and close to each other like that. And you can also say it should be single. So also this line, it should be, you can apply different formats to it like that if that's something you are interested in. I don't want this. I'll remove the underline from here. And you have this structure. That's how you can use the tabs and the indents in Google Docs. In this video, you're going to learn how you can work with tables in Google Docs to organize data like this. If you want to insert a table in your Google Docs, you can just click on the insert. And on the insert here, you are going to see that you have the table option. When you follow it to the right, you're going to see that you have the options to insert the number of columns you want to have and also the number of rows down here. And this expands depending on how you want it to. So in this case, I'll just select 4 columns and just 2 rows for starters. But in the case that you want to have more rows on your table, you can just bring the mouse to the left side here. You're going to see the insert one row below. When you click there, it's going to insert one row down here. If you want another one, you can just come here and click just like that. If you want to insert another column here, you can just bring the mouse on top. You're going to see insert one column right. When you click there, it's going to insert a column to the right side. When I do this, because we want to have the structure like the one on top here, you can just bring the text from the top here into the table like that. From here you can see that this is organized, but if you want to have the accurate design of this data on top here, these columns are adjustable. You can adjust the width and the height of this. So to adjust the width of a column, you can just bring the mouse on the line. You're going to see this double-sided arrow. This means you can click and you can hold and you can push this to the left or to the right. So here I want to push this to the right side, so it is going to align the text in the straight line with the text on top like that. And so everything that I'm going to have below this expenditure is going to be in the same column, straight column like the text or the data above. And so that's also the same for this income here. And if we also want our prices to be in the same column like the data on top, we can just push this as well, right, like that, so that every time we type anything here is going to be in that same column. That's also the same for this side. You can just push this so everything looks like that. You can use the table to actually organize data. Here I'm going to show you how you can get rid of these borders in the case that you don't want them. You're going to click any cell on this table, then you're going to see the more option button here. When you click there, you're going to see the table options. When you click here, you're going to see that you have more options to play with here. You can just play around with these and see what they do, but in this case, you're going to click on this color option. When you click there, you're going to see that you have the table borders and the size, and also you have the background. So here the color is black, and this is the color that we're seeing around these cells. If you want to change that, you can come here, you just click there, you're going to see a different number of colors that you can choose from. If you want to just temporarily hide this, you can click on the whites, and this is going to hide this. And so you can just see the data instead. But in my case, I actually do want the color to come back here, or let's say I want to change the color to something like red. But also, if you want to play around with the size of this outline, you can just click on this table border width. When you click there, you can choose the width of the outline. If you want it to be 1, if you want it to be maybe 3, so you can see how thick, how big it is, how big it looks. And here you can also change the background color of the selected cell. If you want all the cells to have a different background, you can highlight all the cells together. Then you can come here and actually choose the color of your choice, and so you have all the cells changing to that color that you chose. To just maybe make it look better, you can come here and say maybe this is going to be white, and so you can see that now this table looks even more better now. And here, if you want to move from one cell to the other, you can use the arrows to go down. Maybe if you want to go to the right, you can use the right arrow key to go to the next cell, just like that. You can move into different cells on a table using the navigational keys, the arrow keys on the keyboard, or you can just use the mouse to click the cell that you want to manipulate or edit. This is simply how you can work with tables in Google Docs. To insert images, all you have to do is you click on the insert menu on top here on the list of menus on the menu bar. When you click there, the first option, the image, this one is the option for you to insert images. When you follow it, you're going to see that you have even more options here, how you can bring in or insert images in your documents. If you have images that you want to use that are on your computer, you can use the upload from computer option. When you click there, it will open a computer browser like this. Then you can just select the image that you want to use, and then you can click on open. This image will be inserted in your document just like this. This is not the only way to insert an image in your documents in the Google Docs. Let's say we want to insert another image. Let's click on the insert image, and so here you're going to see all the options that are there that allows you to insert images in your Google Docs document. So the first one, this is why you upload the image from the computer, but also you can search for images from the web. When you click here, uh, you can search for anything. You can search for happy people, and this is going to get results of images of happy people. And so whichever image you want to use, you just click on it, then you can insert this image in your document, and it's going to be inserted like that. If you have any images on your Google Drive storage, you can actually use those images. When you click here, it's going to open your Google Drive, and that way you can have access to images this way. But also you can insert images via a URL, a uniform resource locator, a link. or you can actually capture the image from the camera, and this is going to open the camera. And so now you have to actually allow your device to take pictures. In my case, I'll not do this, I'll just cancel this. I just wanted to show you. Now, when you insert an image in your document, you can also do different things with it. You have different properties. Whenever you insert an image, it's going to show you these handles. These handles allow you to scale it down, to just make it small. You can scale it down from both sides. You can also, play with the width if that's something you want. You can also choose if you want it to be in line, or maybe you want the text to wrap around the image, and also maybe to break the text. You can also put it behind the text and also in front of the text. These are just alignment option for the image. So most of the times you'd want to work with the put in front or just the wrap text. This one is going to do something like this. When you bring it on the image here, the text is going to wrap around the image, so you have all these paragraphs this side. This is what happens when you use the wrap text option. Now, the main thing here is how to insert images in Google Docs, and this is the purpose of this video. I hope you've learned how to insert images in your Google Docs. If you have any questions or queries about how to insert images or working with images in Google Docs, please leave them in the comments. I'll respond to you. In some instances, you'd want to make your document offline. So how can you do it? How can you make your Google Docs document editable even when you don't have the internet access? Well, to do that, you have to make it available offline. So how you do that, whatever document you are working on, you can just come on the file. Here on the file, you come down, you're going to see make available offline. This is one way to make your document available offline. And when you come down here, you're going to see that now this check mark is checked, it's filled, it's dark. It means that this is offline. We can also actually make other documents from the home page offline. So for instance, if you want to make any of these documents offline, you can just click on it, maybe this one, and you're going to see make available offline. When you just turn this button on, you're going to see that now it has the mark that symbolizes that this document is offline. You can do the same to these other ones also, and you're going to see that now they are downloaded to the local machine. So even if you don't have internet access, now you can work on these documents. So for instance, here I'm going to unconnect and link my computer from the internet, and we'll come back to this document and see if we can edit it. And so I'll just click there. Now come here, I'll click on my Google Docs option down here in Google. I should be taken to a page like this. And here you're going to see all the documents you can work on offline. Here we have this document that we just saved as that we just made available offline. So now when I click on it here, it's going to open and I can work on it offline. You can edit this document, and all the changes that are going to be made to this document, they are going to be saved on this document. They are going to be synced to the actual document when we come back online, because right now it's saying we are working offline. So all the changes we make are going to be saved, yes? They're going to be saved to the actual document when we connect the computer to the internet. Immediately you connect to your computer to the internet, the changes will sync to the actual Google Docs document online. Now immediately we turn on the internet connection here. These changes should automatically be synced to the actual document. As you can see, that has changed. Now it's saying, the changes has been saved to the document. This is very important. You can also make them unavailable offline by just coming here and turning this off. And now they are no longer available offline. That's the same for the first one. Also, you can also make it unavailable offline. How to activate the tracking mode in your Google Docs. So sometimes you'd want to make changes and you want to track the changes that are happening to your document. Right now, when I start typing, the document is not able to track all the changes that are happening to this document. But also sometimes you're going to be working on the same document with other people. So they will make changes to it. But you as the owner, you'll have to accept the changes that are made to this document. So For you to be able to activate the tracking mode on your document, you simply come here on this edit, you click there, you're going to see the suggesting. When you click on this suggesting, now your document is going to be in the tracking mode. And so when you start a new paragraph, everything that you add here is going to be tracked by the software. So now you can also comment about these changes that you've made. You can just make a comment and people are going to understand why you made this change here. Also, if they add any parts or they edit any section in this document, they can also leave a comment about that so that you as the owner you can approve the changes that are made to the document. If they make any changes to it, you can actually approve the changes by just clicking on the accept suggestion. If the document is being worked on by many people, you're going to see all the suggestions or all the changes that are made to that document. And your job as the owner of this document is to just approve the changes that are made to the document. If you don't approve the changes, they are not going to be part of the final result, the end product. And so your job is just approve the changes, then everything is going to be good to go. All the changes that you add here, they are going to be tracked. You can see this is the tracking mode showing that, oh, here, this is actually new. So if you don't approve the changes, if you just, for instance, reject this, it's going to be removed from the document. You can simply accept or approve the changes, or you can actually reject or disapprove the changes that are made to your document. Now, if you're when you're done with this, you can simply go back to the editing mode where you are not able to track any changes anymore. This is simply how you can activate the tracking mode in Google Docs. In this video, you're going to learn how to change the ownership of your Google Docs document. You are the owner, but you want to give access or the ownership permission to someone else. How do you do it in Google Docs? You simply come here on the quick sharing action button. When you click there, you can copy the link and share this link with the one you want to actually give the ownership of this document, or you can click on the share button there. It's going to open this dialog box. On this dialog box, you're going to see the people you've worked on the document, or you can actually add their email address here, maybe 2 or 3 or 4 email addresses of the people you want to give access to this document to. Then you can send this. When you send this, they are going to receive an email that looks like this. And so when they open this, they're going to see here, we've shared this document with them. So Digital Income Skills has invited you to edit the following document. When they accept, you are going to see their email address here. When their email address is here, for instance, your email address is going to show owner. As the owner, you're going to see yourself there as the owner, but here the second email address or the people you've invited, they are going to just be editors. If you want to change this from editor to ownership, you can simply see that you have the option for transfer ownership when you click there. So this is another dialog box on top of this dialog box, which says you are going to continue being the owner of this document until the person you want to invite to be the owner of this document accepts the invitation. So when you click on send, they are going to receive this email. Okay, so let's check here if we are actually receiving that. You're seeing that invitation to own Google Docs document. And so here, when you actually accept this, you've accepted ownership of this file. When we come back here to this document, let's refresh this and see if we still are the owner. We can make the changes, we can edit this document, but we are no longer the owner. So let's check that. You see, now the ownership was changed. I'm just the editor now. You've changed the ownership of this document. This is simply how you can change the ownership of the document. How to work with styles in Google Docs. It's just like saying how we work with styles in Microsoft Word, but here it's a bit different. Every time you're just typing text in Google Docs, it's going to be considered as normal text. It's just text. No difference to whatsoever, no formatting, no nothing. It's just text. But in your document, you're going to want to have some parts that are just titles, some are just headings. So how can you style these parts? in Google Docs? Well, it's very simple. For instance, we have the title here on top. We want this to stand out. How do we change this from it being a normal text to it being a title? Well, when you select it, highlight it the way it is right now, you can click here. You're going to see that you have the title option. When you click there, now the formatting or the style for this title has changed. It now looks different. You can go on and change also other things in the document, but also we have these headings. You see this heading? You can highlight this and change the formatting style for this and change it to heading 1 because it's the heading. Now just do the same to these other headings that you have in your document here. Change the formatting, the style to heading 1, and also for this one we want the formatting style for this to be heading 1. And now as you can see here, the styles has changed. Someone can tell that this is a heading now because we've applied the heading 1 style on it. Now, if you also have other subheadings, you can highlight these and use any of these down here. You can say, okay, this is going to be heading number 2, but no, we don't want to do that in my case. Now, sometimes you're going to be dealing with a lot of headings, but all of them, you want these headings to have the same styles applied to them. So for instance, when we highlight this first heading here, we can make it bold. We can also underline it, for instance, if that's what we want. I'll just make this bold. When we do this, you can come here and when you bring the mouse on top of this heading 1, you're going to see the update heading 1 to match. This is the option we're looking for. Update heading 1 to match. When you click there, all the headings in this document, they are going to have the same styles that we applied on the highlighted document. This is also the same for text. You can just highlight the maybe 2, 3, 4 letters or words in a paragraph. Then you can, for instance, increase the size and change maybe the font style and use a different font style, maybe this one. Then you can come here on the normal text, that's what we are using, then you're going to see the update normal text to match. Now all the text in this document have the same font. Now that we've added these styles, you're going to see this short document outline. Because we've added these styles to our document, when I click on this short document outline, we are going to see that we have the title and the headings that we've applied to this document. This is simply guiding you and showing you the structure of the document. You have title, you have heading 1, 2, and 3. All the headings that you have in your document, they are going to show under the outline. In some instances, your outline is not going to be activated. You just have to come to view, then you just make sure that this show outline is checked. It should be checked, and you have the shortcut key for actually activating this, Control Alt A or Control Alt H. This is simply how you can activate the outline. So in some instances it's not there. For instance, right now we can activate this by coming to view, then clicking on it, then it comes. And so here you're going to see all the outlines, all the headings that you have in your document, and also the titles that you have, because we used these styles from this styles button. And so when I click on 2 here, it's going to take me to that particular section where I can start reading about heading 2 and the contents. If I click on heading 3, it's going to take me to that section and so on and so forth. You can go to the title, and so this makes it easier for you to move around your document. And so this is simply how you can navigate and add styles to your Google Docs documents. With Google Docs, using your keyboard is not the only option for you to add text in your document. You can also just talk and Google is going to transcribe everything you're saying. Now the question is, how do you type with the voice in Google Docs? You can actually click on the tools, and down here on the tools you're going to see voice typing. When you activate this, you're going to see a big microphone this side, and this, when you click on it, you start speaking and everything that you're saying is going to be typed in the document. So when I click there, it's going to ask you to allow the software to have permission to your computer's microphone. And so when I allow, right now, whatever I say is going to be typed in the document, period. New line, period. Full stop. New line, new line. This is a new sentence. As you can see here, I'm not doing anything, but this is actually being typed in real life. full stop, new line, new line. Just like that, you can add different paragraphs to your document. Just use speaking, and the software is going to record everything you are saying without making any mistakes. Of course, you are going to have to make some changes to it so that whatever is being typed here is accurate. So it's not perfect. Of course, you can go ahead and edit these changes here, and you can type like this. As you can see, we have all this paragraph here. When you are done typing with your voice, all you have to do is click on this button. And now you have this document that was typed with this amazing tool in Google Docs. As you can see, it's very fast to type with your voice without you actually having to sit down and type all this. This was going to take me a long time, but now I can just go ahead and make some changes here if I want. When you're done with this, you can close it, and if you want to get it back, you can come to tools, then you're going to see the voice typing option. This is simply how you can type with your voice. You just speaking whatever you want to speak, and Google Docs is going to transcribe everything for you, and you have different paragraphs. You have to learn a few things. For instance, here when we activate this language there, but when you come here, you're going to see this voice typing help. When you click there, it's going to open this section here where it's going to guide you and teach you the things you need to know about voice typing. And down here, you are going to see that you have even more options like formatting your document, the for formatting your document, you can just say apply heading one. So let's try this out. Okay, I'm going to click there. Then I'm going to say apply heading one. Apply heading one. You can see that now this is in bold. Apply subtitle. As you can see, it's able to do all this. It's listening to you. Yeah, sometimes it's going to misunderstand what you're saying, but yeah, it's capable of doing all these things here. These are just instruction of the things you can say, and sometimes it can misunderstand the things you're saying, but yeah, it's capable of doing all these things. I just wanted to show you this so you can just learn more about the things you can say here, and Google Docs is going to do them for you. This is simply how you can actually learn more about this functionality, these two here. Just click on the voice typing help, and you're going to see this opening this side, and you can learn more about it, how you can use your voice to type the documents like that. And when you're done here, you can actually come here and apply your own styles to it. And say maybe it's going to be normal text, make it bold, or do whatever you want with it. This is simply how you can type with your voice. In this video, you're going to learn about version history in Google Docs. So every time you are editing your document, Google Docs is keeping track of all the changes that are happening to your document. Let's say you have a passage that you deleted area here, but you want it back. You realize that actually you want the previous version of this document back. Well, Google Docs has been keeping the changes, keeping track of all the changes that's been happening, and it has been keeping the versions of these documents. Because this document has gone through many different versions, all the versions that have happened on this document, they're going to be found under the version history. So now, where do you find the version history here in the computer? You can actually find it under the file, and here you're going to see version history option. You follow it, this side you're going to see version history, and here you're going to see a number of histories that your document has gone through, and the dates when these changes were happening. As you can see here, this is the new version, and when you click here, you're going to see all these versions and what has changed. As you can see, this is what we had. It's no longer there in the new version. When you click here, you can see all this is another version of the same document that we are working on right now. And so these are the versions here. Now, the good thing about this is you can just simply click on any of these versions. And if you want this, you can simply click on the restore this version. Now, what you should know is that when you are restoring a version, is you are restoring this version only. You're going to have contents of this version. Any recent changes that were made to the document that you are working on, they are not going to be part of the restored version because this is going back. The latest version is this one. And so all the changes that are made to this are not going to be part of the restored previous version. This is the latest version and these are older versions. So the good thing about this is you can rename them also. You can simply click on these three dots and you're going to see the new name this version. And so you can just click there and you can name it and give it a name of your choice. And when you do that, on top here you have the option to sort or filter these items by named versions or all versions, and by default this is what you're going to have, but you can filter by named version, which means only the versions that are named, they're the ones you want to have, so only those are going to appear here. So this is a very good feature in Google Docs because it allows you to go back to also previous versions of the same document. It just gives you the flexibility to work with your Google Docs document, flexibly without having to struggle a lot about, worrying about the versions, the previous versions of the same document. If you still want the previous versions, you can still go back to them and edit them or do whatever you want with them. This is simply how you can actually work with the history version in Google Docs. Google Docs comes with many features built in. Sometimes you're going to find you want to have something in here, maybe you want to insert icons in your documents, but you don't have the feature that allows you to insert icons. What can you do in that case? In this video, you're going to learn how to install add-ons onto your Google Docs account. So add-ons are found under the extensions button. Here you're going to see the add-ons. Add-ons are simply other third-party apps that you want to link or connect to your Google Docs account so you can use them to simply beautify or maybe help you write your documents, just to maybe create something that looks good, because it's not all the features that you're going to have in Google Docs. Some features are not there. For instance, if you want to insert icons in your document, you'll have to install a third-party add-on to Google Docs, which allows you to insert icons like that. So when we come here, you're going to see the get add-ons. This is going to take you to the add-ons market, right? And here, if you know what you're looking for, you can just simply search for it. On top here, you have the search apps, and I know what I'm looking for. So I search for icons, and here I'm going to find something that looks like, maybe we can use this or we can use any of these here. But when choosing which uh, third-party third-party app or add-on you are looking for, you should be looking for something that is trustworthy, something that a lot of people use, something that a lot of people trust. For instance, this looks good. 9 million people use this. Let's try this. When you click on it, you are going to see that it has a good review here. The rate, it has a good rating, and also it has a huge number of downloads. A lot of people do use this. Simply, this means that it's safe, and at least a lot of people use this. You don't want to use something that's not qualified or something that has a little or fewer people using it, because these apps, they are not by Google, so they might not be safe. And this means that you also want to pay close attention to the add-ons you are installing to your Google account. So here, all you have to do here, when you scroll down here, you can also see the overview of this app. You can read this overview section here just to understand about this add-on. And when you are okay with that, you can just install this. It's going to open this pop-up box, and here you can just click on continue. And now, because you are installing this to your Google account, it's going to ask you to give permission to your Google account. So you select the account that you want to install this on, and when this is selected, you can just click on continue. You are giving permission to this. It's asking you, it's going to actually see, edit, create, and delete all your documents, Google Docs document. And so these are the things that this add-on can do. So if you're okay with that, you can come here and allow. If you're not, you can cancel this. I'm going to allow because I'm okay with that. It opens this pop-up box, and here you can actually click on next, and here it's going to take you to this page where you can see, and when you are here, you can also just click on done, and you're done with this. Let's close this. Now to use the extension, simply click on extensions. You're going to see it down here. So follow this and then you can just click on start. Here it's saying it's working and it's going to open this site. Just wait for it to open and then loading here. So here we can just search for anything. The flowers. When we search for flowers, for instance, we are going to see all the icons for flowers nicely like that. And so now we can just click on this and we can insert it in our document. When we click on the insert here, we're going to see this beautiful flower. Here we can also, do different things to it. We can say we want it to be in front, and so here we can position it anywhere we want. Behind the text, or we can actually apply the break text, wrap text. If there's something you want, you can bring this here and you have that. When you scroll down, you're going to see familiar icons and so on and so forth. We can come on the home here, we can see popular icons that are being used. And so here you can insert Facebook icons or maybe YouTube icons, LinkedIn, email icons in your documents. These are some of popular things that you see in a document. And so here you can insert all of these. It's just up to you to choose. So this is the beauty of inserting add-ons in Google Docs. It helps you with the creative things like that. And so if you have any questions about add-ons, please leave them in comments. I'll respond to you. By default, Google Docs, when you're typing text, is going to use the font Arial, but you are going to want to change the font styles to the fonts of your choice. Well, on top here, we have the font button. When you click there, you're going to see different fonts that you can work with. You can scroll down also here, you're going to see all these different fonts that are here. And the good thing is when you bring the mouse on top of these little buttons, you can see other variations of the same font. So for instance, Oswald, you have Oswald light, extra light, and so on and so forth. You can also say maybe bold. Now, for that font to be applied to the text, you have to select the text that you want to apply that style to, that font to. So when you come here, we were dealing with Oswald. Let's find it. It's Oswald is here, and we want to use maybe bold. You can see that now we have the Oswald bold on this title. Sometimes also you want to work with different fonts. Maybe the fonts that you have here, they are not okay with you. You can also look for other fonts online. Now these fonts, they are free to use. You can use them. All you have to do is you can just come here and select the fonts that you want to use, and they're going to show here under the My Fonts section. And you can just also you can like sort these by groups. You can say all, or maybe you can say display only, and this is going to show you display fonts. And so you can work with these, and when you're done selecting the fonts that you want to add to the fonts that you already have, you can just click on OK. Now when you come here, you're going to see that you have these fonts that are added to your list of fonts that are on this software. This is simply how you can add fonts to your group of fonts that you already have here. If these are not okay, you can simply look for other fonts under the More Fonts option. And here you're going to see all these different fonts that you can work with. You have the Aston, for instance. When we add this one, I click on OK here. Let's find it from here. Oh, it's also applied there. Aston. We've applied the Aston, which means it's here is there on top, as you can see, because it starts with A, it's going to be the first option. So this is simply how you can add more fonts under the font styles here. So you just click on more options, then you can add even more fonts to this list of fonts that are here. In the case that the fonts that you have here, they are not okay with you. So that's how you add fonts to your Google Docs document. Google Docs makes it simple for you to work with different languages. You can simply transcribe or change the language of this document to 100 plus different languages out there. So how can you change the language or translate this document to a different language? Well, it's very simple here in Google Docs. All you have to do is come to Tools, And here on the tools, you have to look for a translate document option. Translate option document, when you click on that, it's going to show you this here. Now, this is simply the name of the new document that's going to be created. You can name it differently. Translated, for instance, here, translated copy of Google Docs. Yeah, this is good. But you can also put maybe Spanish or whatever name you want to, or whatever language you are going to use here. You can say maybe Chinese. Let's say we're going to use Chinese there. And so we can come here and look for Chinese. All these different languages here, you can use them. Okay, Chinese. Do we have Chinese here? Chinese, yeah, simplified Chinese. And so all you have to do now, just click on translate. Now the document, this is just the copy. The original copy is not going to be touched, but a new document is going to be generated from that real version. And so now we have the translated document this side. And so this is good. It's good, but before you actually, what you should know is Google Docs is not going to be perfect all the time. So some words they might be mistranslated. So all you want to do is make sure that you have a native speaker to go through this document, so they, just to make sure everything is okay. So this is simply how you can translate your documents to different languages in Google Docs. It's very easy and it's a powerful feature in Google Docs. I hope you're going to use it to translate your documents to different languages. You have more than hundreds languages. Actually, there are 100 plus languages in here that you can use to translate your documents to. When you come here, you have all these different languages here. You can choose to use any of these. You have Zulu, Yoruba, and so many different languages in here. I hope this video is helpful. If you have any questions about translating your documents to different languages, please leave the questions down in the comments. I'll respond to you. Sometimes you'll have links that will take you outside of Google Docs to somewhere else, maybe a citation where you learn more about what is being mentioned in your document. But you also have the ability to link to other parts of your documents within a document. So, for instance, we have this heading in here. How can we link to this section from a text from above? In here, maybe we have skills, for instance, this. We can make it so it links to the heading 3. How can we do that? We can just select maybe the word that we want to use as a link. You highlight it, right click on it, then you're going to see the insert. Let's just zoom in a little bit on this. Yeah, you click on insert, and here you are going to see the heading that, maybe you can just type heading 1. You just type the section that you're looking for, the one that you want to link to. Maybe you want to link to heading 3. Select that. Now, when I come here, I'm going to see heading 3. When I click there, this is going to take me to that section beautifully and nicely like that. But also sometimes you can also use and choose to work with the maybe just particular sections in your document. Maybe you want to link to this item here from a different text. How do you do it? You can use bookmarks. So you highlight it, then you can come to insert, highlight the section. Now let's actually just choose something meaningful, maybe this one, or maybe just gift. This is very easy to know. Let's link to this. So you highlight this, then you come to insert, and then down here you're going to see bookmark. We want to put a bookmark on this. Now that we have this bookmark in here, you can just click on it, then you can copy the link to this. And when you copy the link, now you can just go on and select the text that you're going to use as a link to that section. For instance, this one, you can just highlight it, then link, then you can paste the link to that section, maybe this one, and then apply. When you apply this, when I click on this, I'm going to see the bookmark. When I click there, it's going to take me to that section, the exact section. So these are the two words to link to different parts of the document in a particular document, in a document. So you can link to different sections, you can link to other Google Docs documents, you can also link within a document using the bookmarks, or just using the links, or using the outlines here. You can link to different outlines. You can link to different book sections. You can have multiple bookmarks in your document. It doesn't matter how many you have. And just like that, you can actually link to different sections of your document. There is a shortcut that lets you create a new Google Doc in just seconds. All you have to do is type doc.new in the address bar and press enter. This creates a new document in Google Docs, and you can simply start typing without you having to access Google Docs, the home page, selecting new. It just takes you directly into a blank new document, and from there you can start working on your document. Now, what you should know, this is not the only shortcut. There is also a shortcut for slide. There is also a shortcut for sheets. There is also a shortcut for forms. There is a shortcut for sites. So, for instance, the shortcut for creating a new slide is slides.new. Then you press enter. Just like this, you have a new slide, and from here, you can start creating and designing how your slides is going to look like. For sheets, you can just type sheets.new in here, and this is going to create a new workbook, a new worksheet, just like that. For forms, you can just type form.new, just like that. This is going to also create a new form for you without even having to go on the home page. You have another one which is site.new. If you just type this one in the address bar, you are going to be taken to a new site which you can start customizing however you want. You should be aware of shortcuts that you can use to simply create all these types of different documents. Now, these are not the only shortcuts that exist. For you to be able to see all the shortcuts that exist that you can easily work with, all you have to do is just type Google goo.gle/shortcuts, like that, with a capital letter S, then you press enter. This is a Google Workspace Productivity Shortcuts playlist where you will learn all about different shortcuts that you should be aware of when it comes to working with Google Workspaces. You can send this document as an attachment to someone without opening Gmail. So how do you do that? This is the question we are answering in this video. When you click on the file here, you're going to see you have the email option, and here you're going to see you have email this file, email collaborators, and email drafts. Now when you click on email this file, this is the feature you're looking for, and what you'll be doing here is you'll be sending an email using Gmail, but you're not opening Gmail in this case. So here you can enter the email address of the person who's going to receive this file, and also you can enter the subject, and you can also enter the message that you want to be sent along with this attachment. And when you're done, you can also choose down here the type of document you are sending. Is it going to be a PDF, or maybe just rich text, RTF file, or maybe an open document or HTML? Maybe you want to send it as a Word, Microsoft Word document, or just plain text. It's up to you. In my case, I'm just choosing to send this as a PDF. I'll just leave that as is, and I'll click on send. Now, what you've done here, you've sent an email using Gmail without opening Gmail. And so the receiver, they're going to receive this email. We sent this email without even using Gmail, but the receiver has received this in Gmail. When we open this, they are going to see the document as an attachment. So they can click on it and open it. And if we had sent any message here, this is the message that we wrote in here, and here it's here, message. And so we have this file here, and if they reply and say anything to this document, we are going to receive this as an email. It's not going to show here. Of course, you'll have to log into your email account. And so here you have this email, modern value VRJ. I've received this as a reply, but you're not going to see a message where you actually sent this, because it was sent using Google Docs. It's not going to be in the sent, because you didn't open Google Docs. So this is how you can send a Google Docs document as an attachment to someone using Gmail without opening Gmail. So if that makes sense and if this is helpful, please leave a like on this video and subscribe for more videos like this to just motivate me to create even more better videos. Thank you for watching. See you in the next one.